When will you be ready? That is the question a British admiral asked when the first division of American destroyers reached Great Britain. "We are ready now," was the quiet response of the young officer. He expressed the real spirit of our Navy. This was not the language of boasting. It was the prophecy and pledge of our service to those fighting in a common cause.
An intriguing question of debate is whether the United States fought a total war in World War I or not. In order to answer this question, one must first understand what a total war is. A total war, as defined by many, is warfare in which many, if not all elements of a society are affected by battle in some way. The United States, without a doubt, fought a total war in World War I, especially in terms of submarine warfare, espionage, and sabotage. When war was declared in Europe in 1914, the U.S. proclaimed its neutrality. However, it sympathized with the Allied nations for many reasons, including 1. The U.S. had strong economic relationships with Allied powers, 2. There were many reports of Germany's outrageous behavior, and 3. Americans felt a bond with the British, in terms of language and democratic foundations. The U.S. showed its support for the Allied powers by supplying aid to the British and French, so many U.S. factories began making weaponry instead of household goods. Germany and Austria, however, were angered by this action, so Germany began its chain of sabotages against the United States. Many undercover German agents were trained to sabotage the industries of the U.S. that aided Allied forces. Throughout 1914 and 1915, these agents assaulted railroads, warehouses, shipyards, etc. in the U.S. For example, many attacks occurred around the New York harbor, such as the famous attack on Black Tom Pier. In this attack, German agents set several ships and ammunition storage areas on fire. Although these attacks on Germany's part managed to destroy some military and shipping areas, the U.S. persisted in aiding the British and the French. However, the sabotages did spark pro-war sentiment in the U.S.
Another example of how American property and citizens were harmed in World War I is the sinking of Lusitania. On May 7, 1915, a German submarine sank Lusitania, on which 128 Americans were aboard. However, doubts about whether Germany intended to sink Lusitania arose. President Wilson did not wish to trigger more warfare and instead insisted that Germany make up for as well deny responsibility of the sinking. The German government assured the U.S. that it would not sink ships without warning, but it did not disavow the sinking. Germany's intensified submarine warfare over time prompted the U.S. to enter the war. Another cause for President Wilson's declaration of war on April 2, 1917 is the Zimmermann Telegraph. On January 16, 1917, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs of German Empire, Arthur Zimmermann, sent a telegram to Mexico saying that they would return the territory of New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona back to Mexico if they agreed to form an alliance against the United States. The President of Mexico replied that this would not be possible, nor would it even be desirable for Mexico, because it would lead them into wars with the United States, and they would have problems with returned territories of New Mexico, Texas, and Arizona. Nevertheless, this message was intercepted and deciphered by the British, and was published for the public. The exposed message not only humiliated the U.S., but also led the United States to realize that it could not stay neutral any longer. The aforementioned examples demonstrate how Americans were often subjected to danger when attacks by other nations took place. Many buildings on U.S. territory were destroyed, and resources of the United States were purposely destroyed, thereby displaying how the United States truly fought a total war. If the U.S. had not fought a total war, however, it would not have been able to assist the Allied powers in winning World War I.